So, spawning in the upper right on Evergreen on the smallest of the 2v2 maps. It's the red and orange team. It's Aftermath, Albino, and TheoRy working together. Infernal and Vanguard, and of course, in this mirror matchup in the bottom left, even as they cut some trees down because they really want to be friends. It's Mixu and Elazer. Infernal Vanguard. Once again, we've seen Mixu and Elazer playing a lot of aggression thus far in this tournament. Going, putting a Volt on the map, proxying a little bit, you know, doing what they can. But that is not what's happening in this game. In fact, Mixu's going for command post first in the early game. It's going to be, looks like, it's going to be a Conclave opener from Elazer. I don't know if this is going to be a Conclave expand. But, ooh, that's kind of cool. So look at what Elazer did here. He overmined just a little bit, but he's mined just enough to get 4 gaunts out on the map. He got his first 2 out. That's fine. Mined just enough there to get 2 more out. He's going to make those, I assume, eventually. But we'll see how long it takes him to make those. As he is currently very supply blocked. He is extremely supply blocked. Where is he meat farm rushing something that I'm missing? Elazer, where is your meat farm? Okay, well, the meat farm is going down now, but that was, I was going to talk about how optimized this opener was, about how Elazer goes and he mines 50 Therium to get himself 4 gaunts out on the map, enough for creeping and map control, but while still being pretty greedy on the other side. And then I think he meant to maybe meat farm rush, maybe this vision camp or something, and maybe the scout delayed it. I don't know, but certainly Elazer was supply blocked far more than he ever should have been, and that's not great. But even still, he's going to be fine. He's starting to mine Therium out once again, and the game goes on. I mean, it was annoying for Elazer, certainly, but we'll see how it's looking to go. Blue also saying, rollback makes the game very exciting because you can literally play the RTS globally. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Rollback does make a big difference, but, you know, if you're playing from Europe onto Chicago servers against someone locally in Chicago, you're still not going to be particularly happy about it. So, you know, take that as you will. But certainly, yes, rollback makes a massive difference, particularly for players in, like, Australia that do benefit from that one in the extreme. So for right now, Elazer taking advantage of the leash distance that you can find, where, as we can see right here, these big, nasty camps that do want to go and very hard to take in the early game, you can just find this position. You put your units on hold position, and the Bruiser doesn't know what to do. He's like, I want to go back home, but I want to kill things, but I want to go back home, please. And then you get the camp. It works out very nicely for you. As Elazer, Ritual Shrine, halfway done, so he's not going to have that upgrade for the time being. And let's see, the state of the camps right now. We got health, we got money camps, we got Luminite camps taken by Mixu and Elazer. Just the health camp for the time being taken by Albino and TheoRy, as they are playing a little bit more slow and steady on the map, rushing this Shroud Stone that gives them certainly a ton of map control. They actually were able to take the money camp now, as instead of building a lot of units, TheoRy went, he dropped Shroud Stone and just kited the big nasty bruisers into the Shroud Stone, and that's fine. That is a more efficient way to play. So if we look at the supplies, Albino's got a lot, TheoRy has less. Mixu and Elazer both on 40, so very, very similar setups. But Mixu and Elazer, because they built a lot of units, they're going to be able to take both of these Therium generating big camps right in the middle. And that, well, we're going to have to see exactly how that powers Elazer into this game. I don't know. We'll see. Where are our players going? So no central command. Yeah, no central command just yet. That is a lot of barracks, though. 5 racks coming out of Albino off of no central command. I gotta say, that's very surprising to me. The ability, at the very least, just to rush central command so you can get your promotes out is really valuable, but I guess he really is really putting a lot of focus on making sure that he has just as many workers as possible. For right now, look at this, Exos on the backside, but Exos versus Gaunts are not what you want. Gaunts do shred Exos. Unfortunately for Elazer, he has Plague Axes, but he does not have Reaper Rush, which means that he's not going to be able to get on top of those Exos all that quickly. And this quick draw hustle Gaunt timing is very, very powerful. Everything that I guess Gaunts do technically counter Gaunts, but Brutes aren't going to be able to get on top of the Gaunts because the Exos are going to shred them. That is a... This army looks relatively small, all things considered, and certainly fighting into the high ground, into Plague Axes is never an easy thing. But now, I mean, they're just continuing to wedge their way forward. Albino and TheoRy are very confident with this attack working out right now. It is working for them very well. And of course, you drop the Shroud Stone. Well, Exos actually handle that very well. They handle that very, very well. But for right now, it looks like kiting backwards is going to be the play, as some of these mobs just cutting trees down, making sure they can get a sentry post up on the high ground. And well, you just rotate elsewhere, and there's no Shroud Stone that can be manifested on this one. Graven, though, already on the map. Maybe try to target that thing down with all your Exos, but even still, this is a bit of a problem. Graven, of course, they are light units. They don't take bonus damage from the Exos, but Exos do a lot of damage anyways. Nightfall goes down on so many of these Gaunts, but now you're kind of caught in this choke, and this is where splash damage is so valuable, right? Certainly sticky bombs, as that's going to go down. Actually, on top of a lot of these mobs, excuse me. That's very nice. And production is going to start to really start to fall at this point as well. But Graven now, they're kind of stuck into a corner. And Graven, they do great against these Exos. They do an incredible job against the Gaunts. But what they don't do is really much of anything against the Brutes. They only do 10 damage. The Brutes have, 160, 16 shots. To kill off a single Brute is not really the easiest thing whatsoever. So this timing from Albino and TheoRy. And again, do we have Central Command? No, we don't. Oh, okay, we do have them the natural now. So the promotions are available. Bubbles are just a little bit more viable. But this timing is working out very nicely. Now notice the Exos, once they get Sticky Bomb, they get dove on top. Because Sticky Bombs do friendly fire. It's not just about the damage on, say, on Albino when he suffers under this. It's also about what he can do to his opponent. If he can run that Exo forward, and I mean, if you can select it in time, these ones are going to be a bit of a problem. The split's not nearly as good, and Nightfall goes down as well. The double soul. These Exos literally cannot move at this point, and it seems like this should be the hold. I think, yeah, this will be the hold at the very end of things. But the damage has been done, right? The natural is gone. The natural is, yeah, this is a lot of Gaunts. This is a lot of Graven. And if you're Albino in your theory at this point, you just got to back up. You have to run back home. And now we got to take stock of things. Yes, Elazer does have Reaper Rush. Certainly these Gaunts are very fast. But Mixu only has one base. He's not mining a ton. He does have high command, sure. That doesn't give you economy. Elazer's got 2. TheoRy's got his 3rd shrine, but he's not mining out of it. So there is that, and it looks like this game, more than anything else, is just going to stabilize. Mixu has 2 Habs solar habitats on the same racks. I don't think that does anything, Kazik, but maybe. Porphorian asking, can you suicide rush fiends with sticky bombs, aka I don't know if you can attach a sticky bomb to a friendly unit. I'm actually not sure about that. Maybe we'll see over the course of this game. But I do know that, like, if a fiend is sticky bombed, you can run it, you can select it, run it into your opponent's army and apply it to them. Now, of course, if the unit that has the sticky bomb on it is killed, the unit has the sticky bomb on it that is killed, then you go and the sticky bomb doesn't explode where the unit was. There's no more sticky bomb. By the way, Bike Rush, I'm sorry, 2 minutes ago you raided the channel. I didn't notice. Welcome everyone. This is, of course, the Infilet 2v2 Cup. And Senna saying that yes, you can put sticky bombs on friendly units. Someone tell TheoRy and Albino this after the game, or I guess Mixu and Elazer, because that sounds pretty fun. Using like individual units as sticky bomb delivery tools. That's pretty fun. Shadow Blizzard saying, yeah, I agree. I think the thing is because they have immense pressure to put out these greater patches and get to 1.0. The smaller patches are less priority. I do think that once we hit 1.0, we'll probably see more regular balance patches. Sure. In fact, I think we'll probably take it one step further and say I would not be surprised if we don't get a balance patch on 2.0 or 0.2, excuse me. Maybe 0.2.1 would make a lot of sense, but I wouldn't be surprised with how much effort, how much work I'm sure getting 3v3 out the door is, I would not be surprised if we don't get a new balance patch in like a week or so. Whenever 2v, because I think they said late October. So whenever 0.2 drops, I would not be surprised if we don't get an immediate balance patch. I don't know. I mean, I hope we do, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. I mean, instead we have to maybe wait a couple more weeks. For now, though, this map has really stretched out in a way that I did not expect. I really thought that this was going to be a setup where I thought that push was going to work. I thought Albino and TheoRy were just going to end the game. But as it stands, Mixu and Elazer, they hold on. Elazer's got 150 supply. I mean, Elazer is so good. Elazer is so freaking good. I know I'm saying just at macro, but optimizing his macro, I try to pull off his builds. I try to pull off his builds, and I just have like 3 less weavers than he does at the same time. He is so good at optimizing his macro at this point. So we're gonna see Sentinels here just making everything that much faster, right? They do have haste bot dispersal, and these Gravens here as well. I mean, this army is just slowed down to a crawl. This Harbinger, whatever it has in it, it actually doesn't have anything. It's just for Shroud. It gets stunned down. Now gets abducted forward, which actually just spreads the Shroud that much further forward. But this is a horrible situation, I think. I mean, this fight has taken multiple screens to really resolve, but this is a horrible situation for Albino and TheoRy at this point. The Concave is okay for them for now, but it was not in the first, and so many of these sticky bombs remove so much damage out of this army. By the way, Weavers apparently can teleport to friendly command posts. That's news to me, but that's really cool, as they get abducted anyways. And Elazer and Mixu are pushing through forward into this fight after a horrible situation where Mixu lost his natural, but he got his Gravens up, and the sticky bombs are so good in this game, in any game, right? Again, not only are they damaged, not only do they slow units down, they slow DPS. They just slow down the attack speed of everything. Also production speed, but who cares about that? In this context, it doesn't really matter, but they slow down the attack speed of units. And that matters so very much. So Nightfall is going to go down. Albino and TheoRy are just going to get forced back into their natural, and I don't see a solution here. I mean, Graven, yeah, they're going to blink forward. They're going to teleport forward, getting on top of things. That high command is going to fall. Albino is out of this game. At this point, I don't see any redeeming qualities. That means the Graven are, well, they're going to try to get on TheoRy at this point. You know, those Flaming Imps are really good. Flaming Imps are doing a great job. Now there's a Dragon on the field as well, and maybe I mean, there's so many Gaunts that I'm not sure that even the Dragon's going to do much of anything here. Has to continue to run. And yeah, with the Sentinels as well, these Hellborn aren't going to do anything. So Albino is very dead. He's got two helicarriers, but he is very, very dead. And it's really all down to TheoRy with his Dragon to try to make this insane comeback potential. With Hellborn as well, they do not have Molten Touch. And TheoRy's supply is still okay. Elazer, certainly Mixu, they've dropped down a little bit, but it's all about this Dragon timing. And okay, so here's the thing. If you drop Infest on so many of these, and then you get a bombing run, on top of it, and all the Gaunts die, that swings the game. That is so, oh wait, exploding imps. Looks like they got targeted down. That is actually so much potential damage. That is such a massive potential swing if you can get away with it, if your helicarriers are doing what they need to do. So there is still room with these tier 3 units for something to happen in this late game. Even as Albino has 50 supply, he is, again, in a horrible spot. But a lot of these units, again, the Gaunts can get taken down. Bombing run goes down, and that's what we're looking for. That's a lot of Fiends starting to show up on the map right now. That is a lot of Gaunts going down. The Dragon against the helicarriers against the Graven, taking things down as well. Trying to target on the right side. This is exactly what TheoRy was looking for. Certainly the Gaunts on the left side are going to try to do what they can, but this Dragon is doing so very much. And look at the supply all of a sudden. Mixu's got a lot, certainly. Elazer does not, and the Fiends continue to snowball. They continue to move forward here, getting on top of this forward position. Sentinels are map control, they're crowd control. They don't do damage, not really. And yeah, the helicarriers are going to get shut down for the time being, but who the hell cares? It doesn't matter, because the big fight, the big bombing run, that's already happened. This one not nearly as strong, but you only had to hit one of them. And now this high ground position is slowly going to go down with the Dragon, with the Infest, with the Gaunts, right, with all of this power. And TheoRy does have a base on the north side. Albino starting to rebuild his Bob power once again. They're going to take this high ground. They're going to knock down these mech bays that are trying to build hedgehogs to deal with the dragon. That's not going to work out all that well. And this game has swung around once again. This game has swung around massively. People are saying, where's Mixu's army? Well, a lot of it was those Graven that have gone down. A lot of it was those Sentinels that have gone down. He's building hedgehogs, right? He's building this higher tier army to ideally deal with the bombing runs. And I'm not saying that Albino and TheoRy are in a winning position in this game. They're not. They're not. But I think Albino with like just a couple helicarriers adding in that burst damage on top of the dragons, on top of everything else that TheoRy has, that has given them a wonderful opportunity. And, you know, to be clear here, the Shadow Flyers are going to try to get on top, but a lot of them are getting targeted down. The dragon's still there, still very healthy into this game. We should point out, by the way, that a lot of this supply is the Shadow Flyers again are not going to make contact. A lot of the supply is Fiends. A lot of the supply is a little bit fake. It doesn't properly count. But now Molten Touch is getting added in as well with these dragons, and again, Nightfall is really powerful. Infest on top of some of these Lancers matters quite a bit. And now, certainly the Hedgehogs with their upgrade, they have insane range. But the bombing run goes down once again. More Fiends getting added into this. And Elazer continues to get punished. Now, it's only 2 helicarriers for Mixu. I think a third one may be... Actually, I don't know that it's rallying across, but Mixu has his third base once again. And Elazer continues to suffer under the pressure, under the duress of all of these Fiends, of these bombing runs, of this Dragon Infest play. And the Dragon is absolutely still there. So, TheoRy, you notice his supply went down massively, right? It was 180, now it's 140. Again, that was Fiends being used. That was Fiends being converted and then dying, because Fiends don't last all that long. That is absolutely what happened right there. But I want to say the Aftermath has absolutely bought their way back into this game at this point. Mixu has 3 bases. In fact, this is his third base getting remade. He lost his third base up on the high ground. Albino's got 3. He's he's not macroing incredibly well, but he's macroing up once again. Nice target fire. Oh, the dragon! Dragon has to stay alive. Dragon's gonna be okay, and just stick this dragon in the healing zone. That has to be the play. The dragon is very low. It's healing up at 1 HP a second, 0.5 HP a second. It's ticking back up, but put the dragon in the healing zone. Give it a med tech. Give it a med turret. Right? You got to get this thing back up here, because the dragon is so vulnerable right now, and it is absolutely the reason that Aftermath have found their way back into this game. So big run by. Really, Mixu, a good majority of Mixu's army on the left side, going for this run by. Sticky bombs on top of all this stag defense, bursting down just a little bit, but more importantly, slowing down their attack speed, making life very difficult for them, but still not quite able to break through. Bombing run, that one gets split away against a little bit better, but now look at this. We do have double upgrades on these Lancers. Not only do they move faster when they take damage, they take 2 less damage a tick. That means Infest suddenly does not apply to them nearly the same way. That means that Gaunts don't really touch them nearly as much anymore. So that's a problem that Elazer, the Mixu, they're going to have to solve. But these Graven on the left side with Hedgehogs as well, trying to take advantage of this setup. Now Abduct, Lash goes down on some of these Graven, and getting on top. Graven, certainly they do bonus damage to light, but they are light units themselves, and they can be punished. Of course, Shadow Flyers, well, they are detectors here. So you got Weavers, you got Shadow Flyers, giving you that opportunity to get on top of the Graven and take them down. And now this game is pretty even, all things considered. Elazer has the right side. TheoRy has, or if Elazer has the south side, TheoRy has the north side. Base count, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th for Therium, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases for Elazer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roughly similar base counts, although Albino's gonna lose this base. That's unfortunate. The army is not well positioned, and I think TheoRy thought that Albino had gotten to a point where he could defend himself, but he's going to lose this base. Now, luckily for him, he does have a 4th, or what was a 4th base, now a 3rd base, up on the higher ground. A little bit easier to defend. Is 21 bombs on this Therium. That's a lot. As the Graven are just going to try to get on top of it, but, well, the dragon is here. It's a low dragon, though. But there's the second one. So the base is going to go down. Elazer back down on 2. We see the bubbles go down here as well. So no range damage really applying whatsoever. Bombing run is going to land massively, but not going to kill any of the Graven for the time being, as they're going to have to retreat on backwards. The bubble, well, it's just delaying this fight, making sure that this Hedgehog gets as much damage as possible before it does have to retreat. Shroudfall was dropped, I'm assuming by TheoRy. I don't know. At the end of the day, Shroud is Shroud. Doesn't really matter. By the way, I know I said this in the last game, but teal is the best color of the team colors at this point. Algorithm Or, thank you so much there for the raid. Hope you're enjoying things. Of course, this is the Infilet 2v2 tournament upper bracket finals. And man, these Lancers are just starting to go to town on so many of these Gaunts. They're fully upgraded. They just don't take damage. They really don't take all that much damage anymore. Meanwhile, on the left side, Weavers are doing what they can. Magma trying to get on top of all of these Graven. And the stun is going to be okay, but Sticky Bomb right on top. They blink out at the last second. And this is a Dragon from Elazer. So that thing, that getting onto that Dragon so quick, that was so impactful. So impactful for TheoRy early on. Now, of course, Elazer has one of his own and attacking into these positions with the Sticky Bombs. Bombing run doesn't really land. Into these Sticky Bombs, very much a problem. TheoRy not able to get through the way he would like, but you just have to run away from these Lancers as the Gaunts. They just are a problem in a significant way, and it seems like this high ground is gonna get broken. Again, there's a Shroud fall. I don't know whose it was. Doesn't really matter. Shroud is Shroud. But even still, this hard push coming on in as the Dragons, the Gaunts coming in from the right side. These Hellborn worth their weight so much, and actually a lot of rallies coming in from Elazer, not where they would like to be. That's Free Fiends. That's the story here. That is Free Fiends, and more importantly, getting on top of these Hedgehogs. Hot pickup micro on the evac, making sure they stay alive as much as possible. And Elazer has to retreat onto the right side. This game, by the way, is insane. Rashbadan saying this is a good match. No, this is a great match. This is, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen a lot of 2v2, but on the balance of the 2v2 games that I've seen, this is the best 2v2 match that I have seen. It is so wild. The game has been so close back and forth. Big bombing row. 2/3 of those Gaunts just went down. Bye-bye. And the Lancers should clean up the rest of these, as we can see. The tier 1 Lancers are really not taking any damage from the Infests, and the Elazer really trapped between a rock and a hard place at this point. But I've been so convinced that multiples of these players were dead multiple times in this game. But Elazer and Mixu, 22 minutes in, are going to have to tap out of this game. And that was only game 1. So we move into game number 2. And game 1, to be clear, was probably the best game. The best 2v2 game that I have seen played up until this point. It was very, very good. I love this, by the way. A little bit of inside baseball. TheoRy went and we have an Aftermath Discord. I'm part of Aftermath. And he just said, yo, you know, this matchup or this mode is so good. I think this can save Stormgate. And can confirm that 2v2 game was something real special. So for now, well, we got this nice quick expand coming. Of course, you can overcharge the bobs. You go and you take the health camp, and you build your command post right there in the middle of the healing camp, and it is unharassable. Absolutely unharassable. I'm wondering. Yeah, and the maps, certainly Zuki Radio saying, you know, I love 2v2, but the maps just need a little bit of work. They're clearly still early stage designs. I think that's totally fair. Yeah, the maps are just, the maps are 3 maps that the dev put together. Some are more balanced than others, and we need more. But I'm wondering, for Stormgate Sundays, because again, that was game number 1 of that, like, game number 1 of this series was probably the best game I've seen of Storm. Well, I don't know that I'm going to say the best game, because we've had some pretty cool games. So I'm saying, you know, I don't know that it was the best game, but certainly one of the best games I've seen of Stormgate. And you know, I'm waffling. I'm like, I don't know. You know, we've seen some other good ones. And my partner from across, like, the other side of my screen is she just says, heaven. We've gone to heaven. Which was probably, I don't know that was the best game of Stormgate. Of course, that's Elazer parting game 5 or game 6 of the semifinals, the last game of that series. And I don't know that was the best game of Stormgate. That was certainly the funniest game of Stormgate that I have ever seen. That one holds the crown. That is certainly true. But anyways, for now, what do we got here? So this was command post first for both sides. Albino, he of course plays the efficiency play, goes and overcharge rushes the health camp to go and get himself up. That did not happen for Mixu. Instead, it was a meat farm rush into the health camp, and what this all means, as I take a look at things, is we have seen Mixu and Elazer putting a lot more focus on early game units. A lot more focus on getting these creep camps down and getting that map control and getting that just cash injection early. And it seems like Albino and TheoRy care more about getting their economy up as quickly as possible. Making their way downtown as quickly as possible into the mid game so they can hit these different timings. Because while you get a lot of money, you certainly get a lot of money by going for creep camps. What you don't have is that's a lot of fiends and infest. Wait, they have plague axes already. Yeah, whew, very fast plague axes coming out of Elazer. This, I don't want to say this might end the game because I tend to be wrong in this, but that is so many fiends. And there's so much shroud here already that there's nothing stopping the infest to continue. Fiends and gaunts on top of a bunch of exos. Well, they kill those too. This, we don't have enough animus for a Hellspawn Resurgence. I think game one was great. Game one was a really cool late game, and we just don't get game number two. It's over before it has even started. There's a rally of Elazer running across the map with this very fast plague axe play. Well, Albino, TheoRy, they just didn't have static defense. They just weren't ready. And now infinite fiends are now available here because there is a wonderful little imp line that TheoRy is trying to mine from, but yeah, maybe Albino survives. At least his units don't die nearly as quickly to what it is that Elazer have. But TheoRy has 5 supply, guys. TheoRy has 5 supply. Yes, Albino has static defense, but this game was over very quickly, and we get to move to game 3. In this series thus far, we've had one 22-minute epic and one 5-minute absolute clobbering of a game where Albino and TheoRy trying to get themselves into that that exo gaunt timing, all right, that was so successful for them in game number 1 that killed Mixu's natural. Did a lot of damage to Elazer before he manifested a Shroud Stone, before there was that high ground turret that made it very hard to push into. Game 2, a similar opening, but that time, that was just not something that was allowed. Elazer single-handedly, quick plague axis timing, got a bunch of gaunts and fiends, and killed every single unit that TheoRy had. And at that point, you're not playing 1v2. That's not really going to happen. So we're going to see how this game works out. Again, we're going to see the greed coming out of... well, actually, I'm sorry. This is Elazer and Mixu playing greedy in this game. Mixu going for that command post first on the low ground, getting that down very quickly. Overcharge the mobs, of course. And, okay, that's actually... that's not an expand position. Meanwhile, Albino and TheoRy, this is a Rax first. This is a 1-base biolab play. This is a 1-1 opening from TheoRy, right? Getting Vault Conclave, or I think it was technically Conclave Vault, as they... If I put my hand in front of the nameplates, I'd be saying, okay, the left side is Mixu and Elazer. That's how they've been playing, and the right side is Albino and TheoRy. But they have totally swapped positions. They've totally swapped ideas in this game, and in terms of how they're playing compared to how this series has gone thus far. Azuki Radio saying, I don't think people are used to 2v2 scouting just yet. Maybe. Certainly Boneyard is a big map. It can be not the easiest thing to scout necessarily. Certainly the timing that you need as well, because I do think they overbuffed the Gaunt a little bit. I do appreciate, I think it was a very much common sense decision that Gaunts should apply Infest when they are on Shroud, not when their opponents are on Shroud. But cutting Plague Axe research in half and making it cheaper, that I think was a little bit much. I think that was relatively unnecessary. For now, though, TheoRy has the top side. Again, we're seeing he's playing this how we saw Elazer play in that last series against Snockstar and Ariel. Meanwhile, Elazer on the bottom side, he's got a lot of stuff here. He's going to go and try to go take the speed camp. But for right now, Albino doing a nice job of just playing on the edge, making it so that they still have that. His opponent does not. And let's see what more comes down. So the scout is going to have to find its way back, but these are not unupgraded Lancers, right? We do have kinetic redirect done just about right now, and well, Fiends thinking about something. Kinetic redirect tries to get on top of the accident. It's dead. Teleport's not going to bring it back home. And now, yes, we did see Elazer. I'm actually not sure what exactly Elazer and Mixu did to go take the center, whether they kind of sentry post rushed and then sold it or what. But anyway, This Therium camp is now the sole dominion of Albino and Theory. They're going to try to move forward with this. Now, certainly there is a speed camp. Gaunts are relatively fast here, but man, kinetic redirect lances are just so fast. Certainly we do have Plague Axes for Elazer, but we also, actually, excuse me, we don't have that one for Theory. Is that in production? It's on the way. It's only halfway done. So Plague Axe Gaunts versus no Plague Axe Gaunts goes vastly, significantly in the favor of Elazer at this point as the Hedgehog's on the map. A couple Lancers try to dive forward here, but the Lancers are such a good solution to all these Gaunts, and they're just running straight through. Speed camp plus kinetic redirect means that this is a problem here. So many of the Gaunts are going to go down, kiting away. Of course, they're on Shroud, so Plague Axes are going to be nice. And man, this Buzzsaw Cannon is doing so much. That Buzzsaw Cannon, I think, is going to hold things down well enough, even as the Lancers are doing what they can. But they will eventually go down. They will get converted into Fiends, and there's just not enough significant damage to bust this Buzzsaw Cannon down. So I think Theory, I think Mixu or Albino, I think they're going to have to back up. I think this cannon is just way too strong. The Plague Axes are done now. And maybe they can get... yeah, there we go. A lot of these Bobs are starting to go down. A lot of these Bobs are turning into Fiends. And maybe that splash damage is going to make something happen. You add in some more Lancers as well, bonus damage to structures, but I just don't think you can fight in range of this cannon. I think that's just too strong. I think that is way too hard to kill. The bonus armor that you get in the Buzzsaw Cannon is bad. Yeah, Erotic, we get it. Player numbers aren't great. Everyone watching here has hopes that it's gonna get up, and 2v2 is fantastic. But you know, are you coming here in good faith to say, hey, I like the game and I want it to get better? Or is this, you know, just bad faith concern trolling? Because we get a lot of that. For now, though, moving into a different position, and there is not the level of static defense on this north side that existed for Mixu on the bottom. So yeah, there's some Hedgehogs here, and they actually do really nicely against the Lancers. But Gaunts do really nice against the Hedgehogs, and importantly here, so Overcharge is ready once again. Some Fiends have been made, but let's see how this thing works out. I mean, this has the chance to be disaster for Theory. His army is very much into a corner, and Overcharge just is nice repair. The Bobs don't die all that much when Overcharge is there, and certainly with Plague Axes, there is a thing. So for now, we're going to see this Lancer go down, staying on creep as long as possible. That's going to be a free Fiend, and Overcharge is going to be done soon enough. Oh, still got 20 seconds, 16 seconds remaining. While the Bobs, despite that, are still going down, so there's going to be a Nightfall on some of these Gaunts. That's going to slow them down, but Overcharge is done now. Mass Repair is not strong enough to get through so many of these Gaunts. Even if they're off Shroud, the Infest has already been applied, and that means a lot of these Gaunts are going to go down. Certainly the Super Turret is also dead here as well, looking for a different angle. Reaper Rush is going to be done soon, but not if it gets taken down first. Not if it gets taken down first, and Elazer is in a very bad position in this game. If there's nothing to defend the Imps, Imps die. Imps get shredded, absolutely shredded by these Gaunts. So the goal right now is getting on top of these Imps, boxing them into a corner, turning them all into about 15 free Fiends, and then running across. So Elazer seems like in this game, what he did to Theory in game number 2 is... revenge is a dish best served hot, because this is the exact thing that's happening to him in game number 3. All the Imps are dead. Elazer has 5 supply, and the Aftermath squad, they're going to find their way into the upper bracket finals. Elazer and Mixu, they're down the bottom side. They're going to have to come in through the lower bracket. But of course, if you liked this and you want more Stormgate, make sure to go sub to the channel on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch, because there's always something happening, and I guarantee you, it's going to be some good games.